Call of Duty Zombies needs no formal introduction. Normally I would avoid talking about COD on this channel altogether, but there was a bit of a mix-up with the video that was supposed to be out this week, so here we are. I've played every single Zombies mode that's released, except for Vanguard and Modern Warfare, because I didn't hear very good things about them. Recently, I've been playing a lot of Zombies since I've been trying to help my friend get footage for his collection of videos that he's been working on, so I've freshened up on most of the Treyarch games. It might not surprise anyone when I say this, but something about the mode has just sort of lost its magic. Now obviously I can't speak entirely for Black Ops 6 since it's not out yet, but we will touch on it later. I think change is a good thing, especially when it serves a unique vision either artistically or when it's trying to innovate gameplay. I also don't think Treyarch is the only dev team that's capable of making good zombies. I loved World War II. I loved Infinite Warfare. Zombies. The multiplayer sucked though. I even liked Advanced Warfare, maybe a bit more than I should have, but I recognize its many flaws while also acknowledging that they were trying to do something a little different. The other games, Advanced Warfare and World War II specifically, don't quite have what made World at War and the Black Ops games so special, but then again, neither does Cold War and to some extent Black Ops 4, so what went wrong? To diagnose that problem, you have to understand what made zombies so special to begin with. It was never supposed to be this big thing. It essentially started out as a secret bonus mode with a couple of maps in World at War. It was ultimately very simple. You get a gun, get some perks along the way, and survive as long as you were able to. With Black Ops, they experimented with Easter eggs, hidden quests that would clue you in on the overarching zombie story. These were in World at War, but not as we know them today. As the games went on, these got more complex. Some people might even argue a little too complex, but they were there for people that really wanted to get invested. Even if you don't care about the story, it's really about the Easter egg experience more than anything. The ultimate challenge for the most die-hard Zombies fans. Although the Easter eggs always had a lot going on, the core gameplay remained simple. Get a gun and survive. Until it wasn't so simple anymore. Black Ops 3 introduced Gobblegums, additional buffs you could get during the game. They are inarguably overpowered, trivializing many parts of the game, but they were also a lot of fun, so I consider them a success. Plus, Black Ops 3 is my favorite Zombies, so I'm a bit biased. They introduced some other high-concept stuff like Lovecraftian horrors and time travel and a bunch of other weird shit, but it was all story stuff and I think it worked out for the most part. It was original and it was exciting. Treyarch decided that that all wasn't far enough though, which is where Black Ops 4 comes in. A lot of the issues boil down to the new create a class system, which is comprised of a bunch of different things. First of all, they kept Gobblegums, which isn't a problem on its own, except instead of being a random draw chance and also costing points, you could use them for free, whenever you want, and also choose whichever one you wanted. Treyarch made the most broken part of the last game even more broken, and it gets worse. The second big flaw in the class is your special weapon. They have incredible killing potential, but if that wasn't enough, they give you a ton of armor when it activates and also have ridiculous utility. Also, your base health is now the same as base health in Black Ops 3 with Juggernog, although Jug is now gone in 4 altogether. Instead of the low selection of around 10 perks, there's now 17, and you choose which 4 you want before each game in your class. Now, Treyarch shaking up the perks is not a bad thing. I think a lot of the new ones are actually really interesting. Sure, Juggernog and Speed Cola being gone hurts, but changes to other systems sort of make up for it. Also, getting rid of the essentials means you could experiment a bit more with your perk selection, since really anything can work if you play around it and there's not a couple of perks that you're going to need every single time. This isn't the case with Double Tap though, which is also gone. There's no replacement or change to ease the pain, so this leads to even Pack-a-Punch weapons feeling near worthless by round like 20 to 25, if that. Guns should fall off eventually, but when wonder weapons are the only things you can depend on for more than 3 enemies at a time, it's a big problem. A lot of these changes aren't necessarily bad. In fact, I think BO4 Zombies gets a lot more hate than it deserves. I don't think the mode is that bad at all, actually. It just put into motion a lot of the problems that make modern zombies feel so wrong. The weirdest part about Black Ops 4 is its maps. Most of them are really creative. 9 is awesome, Voyage has a couple problems, but I think is a great concept. Ancient Evil is an insane dive into Greek mythos. Dead of the Night is a great standalone map as well. And Alpha Omega, released, I guess. While most of its maps are generally pretty good, the other half of them rely heavily on nostalgia. Blood of the Dead, Classified, and Tog der Toten are just retreads of old maps. Some elements have been added, changed, removed, usually for the worst, Easter eggs are new, and some new weapons or mechanics may have been added, but the goal of these maps is ultimately to make you Leo DiCaprio react at your screen and ignore the fact that they're simple nostalgia bait. They're not even bad maps, either. Blood and Tog are pretty good, actually, although I'm not a huge fan of Classified. The biggest issue is that it's hard to say if they're good because of actual innovation or just because you're reliving old memories on an updated version of your favorite maps. Which brings us to Cold War. The first map suffers from a similar fate as Blood of the Dead and the other two mentioned before. Die Maschine really wants you to look around and go, wow, it's Nocturne Toten, but bigger. With Black Ops 4, Treyarch started to lose its audience a bit, so this is how they planned on reeling them back in. But Treyarch didn't learn from its other mistakes in the previous game. Create a class still exists, allowing you to start with literally any weapon in the game, many of which are actually game-breaking. Specialist weapons are replaced with field upgrades, which are slightly less broken, but they're also less interesting. You don't pick perks anymore, they are back on the maps, but Double Tap along with just about every other BO4 perk are gone, and Jug and Speed Cola are both back. Simplicity in Cold War is dead. If Simplicity in Black Ops 4 was on life support, then they definitely pulled the plug here. Cold War is Black Ops 4 times 100. It's Black Ops 400. There are more options, more upgrades, more abilities, more everything, and it all kills the challenge that Zombies was always supposed to be. The new armor system with Juggernog made you practically invincible, not to mention the addition of consumables like health stims and fucking score streaks amplified the issue tenfold. Black Ops Cold War was a full-blown RPG. You manage health resources, several different currencies, zombies have visible health bars, one of the biggest sins committed in my opinion. In trying to appeal to as many people as possible, they bloated the game mode with so many unnecessary additions that Zombies no longer appealed to the players that should have mattered most, the fans. From here we can break down the core tenets of Zombies into 3 ideas: atmosphere, challenge, and simplicity. They haven't really failed us much with atmosphere, it's just changed a bit since moving into the Dark Ether storyline. Aside from some stuff I'll mention in a second, the biggest problem is the loss of a notable crew. There hasn't been a lovable cast of playable characters since BO4, and with the loss of those characters, we're missing out on a lot of personality. Zombies now is very self-serious, and characters have almost no defining traits. This looks like it'll change with Terminus in Black Ops 6 though, which looks pretty cool so far with a lot of Zetsubo influence. Liberty Falls, on the other hand, does not look so great. It is a town during the day. It's literally a version of one of Black Ops 6's multiplayer maps. I'm not the only one who thinks it's sort of lackluster either. There was an outrage of sorts with the map's reveal, so Treyarch responded with some changes. Can you tell the difference? From what I can tell, they just turned down the brightness and saturation a bit, added some purple in places, but, again, we'll see. The HUD also contributes to a game's atmosphere, another aspect BO6 was severely lacking in. For example, previous games had HUD elements that were sort of cracked or bloodied, lending very well to the post-apocalyptic vibe of the mode. This was Black Ops 6's a couple months ago. There's almost no personality here at all, which is probably why they changed it. And you know what? It's pretty okay. It's way less busy, there's a character portrait now, in general it just looks a lot cleaner. I wish this section at the bottom right had a bit more creativity to it, but it's a step in the right direction for sure. And then we have challenge, something that's been dwindling in Zombies for as long as it's been around. The amount of hits you're able to take has increased slowly, but there's so many tools that allow you to mitigate, regenerate, or outright cancel that damage in the new games that staying alive is honestly a joke. All these options give people a lot of ways to play and might entice new players, but the challenge of Zombies is all but gone. Even if you get trapped, there's likely to be something nearby you can vault over. A change that makes the game flow a lot better, but ultimately trivializes the intentional map design of the older games. This is specifically a Cold War thing, but it's moving on to Black Ops 6. The maps, in general, are a lot easier. There are more huge open spaces, and then there's the whole vaulting issue, all of which makes training zombies almost effortless. And finally, there's simplicity, which ties in quite nicely with challenge. Part of the reason Zombies is so much easier is because of the player's expanded abilities without much changes on the enemy side. You have all these new tools to deal with zombies, from your field upgrade to armor to movement to an equipment shop to, again, score streaks, which some make you untargetable and can easily sweep massive hordes. Aside from making the gameplay so comfortable, it just doesn't feel like Zombies. We literally have multiplayer score streaks. We can create a class and start with any weapon. We could have an infinite number of perks now. Ammo mods aren't random anymore. You have to pay attention to and manage 3 separate currencies, points, and 2 types of scrap, and generally there's just too much going on. It doesn't feel like the game mode that I grew up playing, that I grew up buying these games for. And then we look at BO6, and their big selling point is going back to classic round-based zombies, but at this point, what does that even mean? There's still armor in place of a shield, we have a health bar again, scrap and score streaks, the Easter egg quest is explained to us as we go. Nothing about this is classic zombies. It's round-based, sure, but it still has all the unnecessary bells and whistles that came with Cold War, except now you can turn into a mangler. My goal with this video isn't to make you hate new zombies or try and persuade you of what I think. I just wanted to vent some of my frustrations with the changes to the mode. In fact, there's a lot of stuff in BO6 that looks and sounds really cool, like the new augment system, and Terminus looks great, so, you know, maybe I'll be proven wrong. But that's about everything I have for you guys today. There's a very good chance that I will not make a follow-up to this video on Black Ops 6 unless it's requested. Since you made it this far, you might as well go check out my friend's video. You can find him linked in the description, or you can just look up Party Party. He's currently, he currently has 2 videos out on the Zombies franchise with 1 more on the way. But anyways, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, let me know what your favorite Zombies game and map is, and subscribe for more. Thank you so much for watching, have a great night, and I'll catch you in the next one.